Action.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Ike Live on this glorious Wednesday. I hope you're having a great night. I know we are. It's been a great show so far. We got one more segment in store for you tonight. We had Brandon Cobb on talking about some of his great success in the last few events in BASS. Of course, last segment, Jeff Little on the casting couch talking about Torpedo.
Scuba diver for smallmouth.
Scuba diver smallmouth as well. Really cool product. And this last segment, we're going to be talking a little kayak fishing. We're going to get Ryan Lambert here in a second. Talking about some good and some bad of kayak fishing. But, Brian, I want to remind everybody, a lot of them hung on because they know this is the segment where we give away some prizes. Well, they know we got 3 things for you in this last segment. We've got 2 Ike Live prize pack bags. One we're going to give away for the like and share for our Facebook viewers. We're also going to be giving away a second one for the best comment or IM that Rich fields here in a second. He's going to field some questions coming in a little later. And finally, last but not least, this one's kind of exciting, Brian.
Yeah.
We're giving away a
Dakota lithium power box.
Right, Dakota lithium
Batteries.
power box. Yeah. Right, little battery action.
I actually saw it at the Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship.
Tell us about it, John.
It's a cool setup. I mean, basically, it's a waterproof box that has the battery in it. It has a bunch of USB ports and plugs. It can just recharge. It can power everything on your kayak, but it can also recharge your phone. Which I know I've been in a kayak fishing tournament where you use the phone to take a picture of the fish, and if your cell phone battery dies and you're like, I have a fish that calls, then you're screwed.
You're screwed.
So I've done it before.
Yeah.
Before I carried the little, Goal Zero little things
charge packs. Yeah.
I did it by tucking it down in here in the armpit and saying, all right, you're going to warm up. I'm going to put this fish on the Boca grip, let him chill, and let this warm up. And it worked.
Yeah.
But having reliable power there in something that's waterproof, and it's a cool product.
It's cool. What's over a $200 value?
Yeah.
Brian the Carpenter.
Yeah.
And we're going to give that away to somebody tonight. Do you want to announce the question right now, or you want to do that after we talk to Ryan? You want to announce the question and we'll give people time to stew on it, or do you want to do it a little later?
Becky?
Oh, am I on?
Yes.
Yeah.
How hard's the question?
The question's it's pretty hard, but if people were watching tonight, they have half of that equation already because we were talking moms.
Yeah.
So if you're a smart viewer and you were watching, let's go ahead and do it.
Do it.
All
Do
right?
it. It's good. They're not good.
All right. So why don't you want to do the whole question?
All right,
Here's
so-
the question.
Yep.
This is for the Dakota lithium power box, valued over $230. And the question is, first one to get it right, Rich is going to take the IMs. The question is?
Match the Ike Live member with his mother.
Okay.
And the members are Mike, Pete, Dave, and Brian.
And the mother's names are?
The mother's names are Dorothy, Roberta, Judith, and Myrtle.
Okay. Match the mother's name
It's for a $230 item.
with the correct Ike Live
Good luck.
crew member.
Yeah.
Good luck. Now,
You know what?
dude,
This is Google proof, though. Like, if so, we ask some trivia question.
Wait,
I'm
dude,
just saying.
if they're smart though, because we mentioned 3 of them tonight. We mentioned 3 of them on air tonight in our discussion. So they only have to guess one, and it's an easy guess if they're really paying attention. All right, so there's the question. First one to get it gets the lithium power box by Dakota. I want to get right into it because this to me, I definitely, the first 2 segments were awesome. But I'm happy to have this guy on the show. I'm very excited to talk to him and talk kayak fishing. Kayak fishing is a big movement. Becky, it's probably the biggest growing segment of sport fishing right now is kayak fishing. More people, especially in the United States, are starting the sport of fishing through kayaks. Very, very exciting. And we've got him right here joining us on Skype live. We've got Ryan Lambert on Ike Live.
What's up?
Ryan!
How's it going, guys?
How you doing tonight?
Doing well.
All right, I'm going to hit you with the big question right off the giddy, which is, why kayak fishing? Kayak fishing, we just mentioned it, dude. It's at ICAST the last 3 or 4 years in a row. It's been the biggest thing people are talking about. There's more people buying kayaks now than bass boats, full-size bass boats. It's a way younger people are getting involved in the sport. Why kayak fishing? What makes kayak fishing so great?
So for me, I kind of stumbled into it. My daughter, she was about 3 years old, and I wanted to start getting her out on like the local rivers and stuff, just to get her outside. So I bought my first kayak because it was cheap and easy, to slide in the Sequatchie River down here. And I didn't bass fish growing up at all. So my buddy Steve Owens and I, we were crappie fishing one day, and I caught a couple bass, and I was like, man, this ain't that hard. I don't know why people make it out to be like it's something difficult. So I looked it up, and in Chattanooga there was a local kayak fishing club. So I went and entered a tournament, and I won the first tournament that I entered, and I was like, man, this might be the ticket here. So that kind of got me hooked on it. And since then, I've branched out. Last year, I fished a local bass boat club as a co-angler too, just to kind of see what the other side was all about. And like the camaraderie and the real family sense that we have in the kayak fishing community is kind of what keeps me there. I like that a lot better. It's not as cutthroat. It's not as dirty. I like it.
Yeah. Dave, I want to put you on the spot too, because you're our sort of resident guinea pig that was a John boat guy, a bass boat guy, took a hiatus, came back, and then became a kayak guy.
Yeah.
And then took another hiatus.
From everything.
Now plays video games.
Yeah. Do you agree with Ryan? And what does kayak fishing mean to you?
So, first thing you hit on was how easy it was to put it in and out of places.
Yeah.
Right? Like for me, not really caring much about fishing that much. It was a pain in the ass for me to drag a boat everywhere.
Right.
The expense of having it. This is so much more convenient. It goes right in the back of my truck. It's a stable platform.
Yeah.
I can get around. I can't fish giant bodies of water, But, so the convenience of it and the accessibility to the smaller lakes like Brian had alluded to earlier.
Yeah.
Like he said, throwing it right in the river down by his house.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, here's the interesting thing. There were a lot of, I can remember back 4 or 5 years ago, even before we started a relationship with Hobie, I can remember people saying, kayak fishing is a fad. Kayak fishing is a niche segment of the sport. And all these years later, right? Now we're talking about 4 or 5, 6 years later, it's become a big thing, from local events to Hobie Worlds to now seeing kayak fishing on a national stage in conjunction with a national organization, bass fishing organization like FLW. Do you feel like, Ryan, has it come full circle? Is it time now? You've been there from the beginning, and now you see it on this big platform. Is it time for kayak fishing to become something bigger than it's ever been?
I think we're on the cusp of it. I think we're finally starting to see, kind of what we all were hoping for 5 or 6 years ago. I think we're starting to get that national level commercial recognition, where advertising dollars are actually going to give these companies a return on investment. That the FLW event last weekend, that was a huge step. That was a huge step in the right direction for the sport.
Now, tell me a little bit about that, because I know a lot of our listeners or viewers know about that event. There's probably a lot that don't. But last week, in conjunction with the FLW event, which was on Chickamauga, we had the first kayak event on Nickajack. You had a great event. In fact, you finished second, which is an awesome finish. But you got to be you were there. You were up on stage. You were interviewed with Chad Hoover, Chris Jones, the fanfare, the media. What was it like? Give our viewers a little taste of what it felt like.
It was awesome. Like being in the kayak fishing stuff for a while now. We're used to kind of, we'll meet at a pavilion and do our weigh-in or whatever, and it's not like a huge fanfare, but, taking advantage of what FLW already has in place, being on the stage, being in front of these people, being on FLW Live. That was great. I mean, that's what we as kayak anglers want. We want to get to that level of recognition, and even the media coverage after day one. FLW does the update on the leaderboard and what's happening in the tournament. That's the kind of stuff that we we want to see. Like, these tournaments need to be about the anglers as much as it is about the show of it all.
Right.
And I think that's really kind of what everybody's shooting for in the end. So,
Right.
I mean, I loved it, and I hope to see that continue to grow.
When you were on stage with Chad and Chris up there, who's harder to understand, Chad Hoover or Chris Jones? Because they're both kind of strange personalities, aren't they? They're both very, very strange personalities.
I am well versed in the Chad language. Over the years, we've had many a phone call together. So I'd have to say Chris on that one.
Okay, Chris.
Let me hear you say something. We'll say it this way. Let me hear you say "use guys."
Use guys.
I like it. That sounded natural.
Who's guys?
I've worked in Philly before, so I got a little bit of that.
My guy.
I picked up on that on the streets.
Whose hat are you repping there? I can't make it out.
That's Z-Man, dude.
Ah, okay.
Z-Man.
Yep. Throw them chatterbaits, baby. It
So now-
puts fish in the boat.
So what's like the official abbreviation for kayak anglers? Is it yak or yackers? Like yaks?
I mean, yak usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there is one.
No, I don't know. We had some. Remember?
What?
Remember what did we call that one guy? Brad, what did we call that one guy who was always in our spot? Every single tournament we'd be out on the river and we'd go to our first spot.
Yeah, I'm not going to repeat that right here.
What, the name we called the guy?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I remember it.
I think we called him Kayak.
Or something else.
I
I know what I'm remembering.
Yeah, is it true? Yeah, is it true, Ryan? You beat Chad Hoover in a watermelon eating contest at his house after you beat him up on his own lake? Is that true?
I knew this was going to come up. No. That's not true at all.
Well, I do. Let me step in and let me tell you, it is true that I beat Chad Hoover fishing in Florida. It was at.
I remember that.
Yes.
Was that the Valentine's Day Massacre? I think is what it went down as.
Yes.
In
Yes.
history.
It was
it
Beanville. Beanville. And
Beanville.
I made him shave his face.
That was pretty ugly, and I mean that in the results of the tournament and the results of the face shoot.
Dude, the great thing, I'll never forget, the great thing, and it was almost a sabotage for poor Chad, because I had a full beard, and it was lovely and lush, and Becky hated it with all her might. And
True
I
story.
knew that I was going to have to shave that beard when I got home anyway. So, but I played to Chad that I loved this beautiful lush beard with all my heart, and it was going to pain me to have to shave it. So I made this bet with him that the loser would have to shave his beard. And
He legit loved his beard.
yeah, he loved his beard. He loves his beard. He looks ridiculous without it. And so I knew it's a
I've never
win.
seen him
It's a
without it.
win-win for me. If I have to shave
You
my
can't
beard, I'm
lose.
shaving it anyway. Who gives a shit?
You can't lose.
So I didn't care, and I swear, that night, I remember talking to him. We did this Facebook Live, and I put him on the spot, and I made him agree to this. And as soon as he clicked off on his Facebook Live, you could see the fear, you could see the worry in his eye, and he's working on tackle, and he's preparing, and he's
already won.
and he's got the headlamp on, and I'm like, dude, I went to bed. I had a beer. I went to bed. I didn't give a shit. The next morning, this is the best. The next morning, we wake up. The meeting time. We're backing our deals up, dude. He's got his in the water. And he's loading his kayak up with rods. I swear, dude, he's got 8 to 10 rods. Every little open hole on his H crate and in the holes, everything's loaded with rods. I still have mine on the top of the truck. I'm taking it off. I put 2 rods.
No.
I put 2 rods in my kayak.
Oh, no, you didn't.
1 casting rod and 1 spinning rod.
Oh, my
And
God.
literally like a knapsack of baits, like Bob
no.
Soley style, like a brown paper bag of baits. And I'm like, whatever. And dude, it was just awesome.
South Jersey cheat code.
I see him make this mad dash because he's been there for a week pre-practicing. So he makes this mad dash to this little location. He's got everything all pinned out. I don't go anywhere, dude. I literally start at the ramp.
Oh, no.
And I start with the casting rod, and I'm throwing around. It doesn't feel right. And I pick up the spinning rod, and I put on a shaky head. And like the second cast I catch it, I'm like, it's over.
Good.
Poor guy got beat by a shaky head in Florida. The heck?
So what kind of a payout was it to get second place in that event?
So it was $3,000 cash, $1,500 from DZ, and $500 going toward the FLW Cup in Arkansas.
Oh wow!
$5 grand.
Good.
$5 grand's a pretty good payday.
Yeah.
What did first place pay, Ryan?
I want to say it was $5,000 cash, $2,000 from DZ, and the $500 to the FLW Cup.
Nice.
Wow.
It was a good gig, man. The guy that won it, he's from Michigan. A young kid, 23, came down on my home lake in my own backyard, whacked my ass. It was.
Yeah, it happens.
I couldn't catch him. I tried. I couldn't catch him.
Whose house do you sleep
Was
at?
he staying with one of your really good friends? By any chance? Just wondering.
No. Funny enough,
Seems to
Ron
be happening
Champion
a lot
was
in the
staying with
kayak
me.
world here.
Ron Champion was staying in my guest bedroom the whole week.
Wow. Small world, Dave.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey, we got a winner, by the way.
We do have a winner. Go ahead, Riz. Who do we got?
We had a winner. Came in at 10:54 and 3 seconds. Clark had the correct answers with Mike and Roberta, Brian and Dorothy, Dave and Myrtle, and Pete and Judith.
That's
Congratulations, Clark. Send in your info.
W. Griswold. Congratulations, Clark.
I think all those names are from Wizard of Oz or something.
Except Myrtle. There ain't no Myrtle in there.
That's Gone with the Wind.
There's not a Myrtle in Wizard of Oz?
I don't think so, dude. There's a Dorothy.
Yeah.
There's a Roberta. And the Wiz of Oz.
The Wiz.
What's that? Was that one found when you went through the saloon doors in the back of the movie rental place? Was that where you found the Wiz of Oz?
The Wiz.
The Wiz.
Yeah, it was the urban version of Wizard of Oz.
Was
You
like
don't
a porn
remember that?
movie or so. I don't know.
Donna Summer, was it Donna Summers or not Donna Summers? Who was the lead? Who was Dorothy and the Wiz? A prize for whoever can tell us the lead.
He's
who was,
giving out prizes again.
Well, this isn't the bag. This is something else. We'll give away something. A prize for whoever
A
knows
prize.
who was the lead in the Wiz.
Well, shit, now I
Who
gotta
was
find it out.
Dorothy in the Wiz?
Bet, Google
Was
it.
it Donna Summer?
I don't know, but it's just going to be the same dude that wins every
No,
other.
it's not.
Chris from New York. Oh, yeah, we got poor Ryan on here. We're talking about
The Wiz.
I'm very sorry,
Very
Ryan.
interesting.
We
Google it back
digress.
quickly.
I'm learning a lot.
yeah.
Now,
What not to be when you're 50.
yeah. I want to jump subjects with you, Ryan, and
Okay.
this is sort of a two-part question. And one is, we've had it a lot. We've done a lot of kayak shows here on Ike Live, and a lot of people they love kayak fishing, but they have issues with the running of a kayak tournament. There's so many, it's not as cut and dry, right, as a MLF or a BASS event, right? You're not sticking fish in a live well. You don't have an official with you weighing them and being your judge. So it's more complicated. There are more hoops you got to jump through in a kayak tournament. I know you run your own kayak trail. I know you've participated in them. What are the biggest challenges from that respect? Are there things that need to be done different? Are there things that need to be done better? Or is it the way it is now is the way we'll see it in the next 10 years?
I mean, I would like to see it improve. I think some of the main problems that we have, it's hard to keep an eye on people, so to speak. And I'm not saying you have to watch people like a hawk, but if you have 100, 200, 700 guys fishing the same tournament, I mean, it's kind of hard to verify,
Yeah.
each fish and who's fishing where. I mean, we do GPS coordinates on, where the photos are taken and stuff, but even that's not foolproof. I think, from my point of view, these larger events, like as we move toward more of a pro style,
Right.
I'd like to see these 2-day tournaments. The top 10 on day 2, they actually have, a marshal or something with the top 10. That way you at least kind of have that verification process on the guys that are, looking like they're going to land in the money. I'd like
Right.
to see that.
Right. Do you think the live technology that you're seeing with BASS and MLF, do you think live technology will eventually cross into the kayak tournament world?
I would like to see that. I know we fished for the national championship. We fished down in Shreveport, Louisiana, and a couple of those lakes like Bistineau, Cross, Caddo, they had their local clubs even would do, basically video weigh-ins where they would video themselves weighing the fish, and that's how they fish their local bass clubs, out of the big boats. So,
Yeah.
I think that's all things to take into consideration, but as it grows and as there's more money involved, I definitely think that we need to evolve, as far as kind of checks and balances goes on how to make sure people are doing the right thing.
Right. Guys in the back, I heard a little laughter. You have something,
Oh,
Riz?
Dave, say the winner's name.
What's that?
Dave, say the winner's name.
Say the winner's name.
Yeah.
The winner of what?
The last
Of the
Mike
of
from
the
New York?
Yeah.
Chris from New York.
Yeah. Yep. New York Chris, and the answer was Diana Ross.
Diana
He won.
Ross! Damn it! I was close to Donna
You said
Summer.
Donna Ross. Donna
He
Summer.
won something.
He won something.
He won
Yeah.
something.
We're giving you
Something.
something.
We got a
Yep.
box of chocolates or
That
something.
dude
No,
does
we're
not
getting
play,
something.
man. Jeez.
Dude, he's got.
He's that dude from that movie with John Cusack where the guy waited all summer. He was in like the army fatigues waiting for that, and he won in the radio station game. Remember when he shot a rocket at the building? Remember that John Cusack movie? One Long Summer or whatever it was called? No, you don't remember that?
I don't.
Long
All right.
I don't either.
Sorry.
but-
Whatever.
Chris from New York shooting rockets like once again. Once again, I do want to keep it going because I think for me, I see the potential of kayak tournament fishing.
Yeah.
I see it becoming a true professional sport, like professional bass fishing is with full size boats. I see that day coming. But I think there are, challenges, with
Yeah, I don't
the
think
format.
that system. It's like it hasn't completely been worked out yet.
It has-
And honest to God, it's a shame that people will try to cheat so bad.
Right.
That it's such a difficult system to
It's
to
a-
find
it-
a foolproof
it's
way
a difficult
to
system.
keep people honest.
It's a difficult system. But you mentioned it, Ryan. The more money that gets involved in tournament kayak fishing, the more people will go and do things they shouldn't do. But the opposite is true, and this is a good segue. The opposite is true. I think that the other negative is that sometimes you do the right things, and I think the systems that are in place now sometimes can wrong the people that are doing the right things, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And Brian, you have in the notes, and I feel like we have to talk about it. Ryan, you had a recent win taken away from a disqualified fish, and do you want to talk a little bit about that, because there was some controversy behind it, and I feel like from what I heard, this was a legal fish that was taken away. You want to talk a little bit about it?
So it was week before last on our Gunnersville Trail event. I had I had a really slow start to the morning. I was on a killer bite, and it dropped about 20 degrees the morning of the tournament. It was pretty cold. My fish didn't turn on until about 9:45, but when they did, they turned on hot. I mean, they were chewing really well. So I caught like 5 or 6 fish in succession. So I'm catching these fish, taking pictures, submitting these fish to the leaderboard. And the way it works, we have an app, and you submit your fish, and they're judged, and you can go back in and look and see, if they're accepted or denied or whatever. So I catch my fish. I've submitted all these fish. I go back and check over them at about noon. That way I still have an hour and a half if I need to, really push and try to get another fish. And everything was good. I checked my emails to see if I'd been notified of anything being denied, and that was all good. I go to the tournament weigh-in. I'm asked to text my pictures to the tournament director, which I do, no big deal. Send them my fish, and we're handed out the checks. We go through the whole award ceremony. I stay after. We do interviews, and I get home at like 8:30 at night. I get a phone call saying one of the fish had now been denied, and I'm like, what? Why has the fish been denied here 6 hours after the tournament's over? What's going on?
Huh.
So apparently there had been a question raised that it was the same fish. They thought I had submitted a duplicate fish, which I understand. That's fine. I mean, that's the judge's call. So I sent in everything I had as far as the timeline of the day went. I sent my camera roll in. I had caught several fish between the two fish in question. I sent all that in to Richard Penny, actually one of the KBF guys. Just trying to clear things up where I could. But before I got home from receiving that phone call, there was a post made on the trail event on Facebook, and depending on how you read it, it sounded like it was pretty accusatory, saying that I might have submitted a duplicate fish on purpose. So before I got back to my house and saw this post, I had 5 or 6 text messages from my friends like, I cannot believe this, people are irate, like it's always on edge all the time. So that caught on fire pretty quickly. I reached out to Chad myself. We talked about it. He's like, I'm sorry, that's not how I intended the Facebook post to read. I just wanted it to say that we were reviewing things. In the end, I mean, I told him, I don't care. It's the judge's job to judge fish. It's my job to catch fish. So whatever the judge's call is, that's fine. I just wanted an apology for the Facebook post. Like, I don't need to cheat. I'll go out and catch fish. That's fine.
Yeah.
That part kind of pissed me off a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
he is definitely an optimistic guy. That's a half-empty view, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to swallow. Obviously, when you have something like that taken away, it seems.
Did you stay that calm?
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, so I have a history of not staying that calm.
Thank you.
Welcome to Ike Live.
As I've grown up a little bit and kind of established myself a little bit more in this industry, I've learned that it's probably better if you think before you speak or post anything on social media, because that shit never goes away.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful before you open your mouth. Now, my buddies, God love them. I mean, they are blessings to me. They are quick on the trigger. So before I can even think about it, they've already fired. It doesn't matter. So, I mean, that's I love the loyalty of my friends, but I try not to engage in things unless I'm 100%, willing to risk everything I got on it.
It's a tough job when you've got to judge something, because judging is so subjective. Sure. It's like the Olympics and ice dancing or any of that stuff where they're judging.
Yeah.
I'm always like, how? Yeah. No, and that's either a goal or it's not a goal.
Yeah.
When you're judging it, it's just so arbitrary. I have a problem with that.
And that's what I mean. The system that's in place now, I think there needs to be an evolution of it, right?
I think there will be.
Yeah, because judging a fish hanging on a scale is a very easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Judging 5 fish that are in a bag that come to a scale is a very easy thing to do.
Even that's difficult, but compared to
the judging of this kayak system that's in place now,
that is tough.
It's very tough.
Yeah.
It's very tough.
Wait. So what's the outcome?
The 2 fish that were in question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I want to know the outcome of the story.
Well, I mean, honestly, I haven't been notified with an official outcome. Obviously, it took to social media. They posted the pictures in their initial, I guess, Facebook update or whatever it was, which I didn't like that either, honestly. But a lot of people, took to their own computers and analyzed these pictures. and there was as much going one way as there was the other. Again, I don't care. Like, if I caught the same fish twice in a day, I'm so sorry, but I'm out there to catch fish. So I'm not like checking their ID tags, but when you look at the two pictures that were submitted, they didn't look anything alike. Like, one of them, the fish is like relaxed and calm. The other one, it's a big-headed fish, like, gill plate blown out. So me sitting in my kayak in the middle of the day, like, I don't have a big screen computer I can blow these fish up on and analyze scale patterns and stuff. So, I didn't think anything about it. There's no question in my mind. So.
Is there a rule in place in the official rules that you cannot catch the same fish twice in the course of a day?
Yes.
Yep.
There is a rule.
Yep.
So how would you know it's the same fish?
Know? Yeah.
So, that's.
Unless the fish was a bedding sight fish,
right.
How would you know?
DNA.
DNA.
No, it's a scale
honestly,
pattern.
like,
Lasers.
You can. They have. We say that we have, the ability to look at different scale patterns and different things, but again, that's subjective too. Like, when we compared these two pictures that were submitted, one looks like it has, a split on the dorsal fin, an abnormality on its lateral fin. Like, I don't know. It's one way or the other. And again, from the beginning, I don't fault the judges at all. I agree with whatever they come, the conclusion they come to. That's not my job, is to argue with the judge at all.
Right.
My biggest issue was I caught these fish at 10 a.m. So, the tournament's over at 1:30. If I'm notified of an issue that's happened at 10 a.m., I threw back 5 more fish that would have left me in the same exact position.
Right.
That I did not score because I thought that was under my smallest cull.
Right.
So that was kind of my thing. And I talked to Chad about this. I try to, not be an asshole when I talk about things, honestly. So I'm like, here's what I'd like to see happen constructively. I'd like to see this improve. When they judge a fish, if there is an issue, I think the angler should be notified, fairly immediately on the water, so you still have a chance to, make a change. I don't think that it should happen 6 or 7 hours after a tournament's over. What can I do then? That's over.
Right.
Yeah, there needs to be some kind of.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Absolutely.
Please.
I've been tournament director on the Susquehanna River for tournaments, for a number of years. And Ryan, you've judged fish and run tournaments.
Yeah.
I after doing the same one for 3 years in a row, I decided I'm never doing a 5-fish limit tournament on that body of water again. Like, if I do another one, it'll be a 3-fish.
Yeah.
I want to say that, over the course of the 8-hour tournament that I did, and I was the only person judging it, so you have consistency. It was 400 and some different photos of fish that I looked at.
Right.
And to be able to say in the moment, hey, this angler's third fish looks like their first.
Yeah.
I do feel for you, Ryan, and I like that sort of, and I believe that if you caught the same fish, I don't think it was intentional, but at the same time, there is some jerk out there who's gonna do that, who's gonna stick a fish on a donkey leash or boat grip for 2 hours and then bring him out again, So you have to protect against it,
right.
But it's really hard to, in the moment during the tournament to scrutinize it to that level. And I think after the fact, they look at it and say, we really do have to, and that's why they take them offline and really try and scrutinize it
and verify. Which the tournament was over at 1:30.
Right.
Awards were about 3 p.m. So we had that verification process. But to your point about the donkey leash, it's funny you say that. In between those 2 fish that I caught, one of them was about a 6-pound, 19.5-inch fish. I took pictures of that fish with a donkey leash in its mouth to send to Cal Coast that was in my camera roll as well, in between those two fish, which is the most ironic thing of it all. You could say, well, he caught this fish and put it on a donkey leash and had it swimming around the whole time. Well, I had taken a picture of another fish on my donkey leash during that time frame. I mean, it doesn't fix the problem, but like I said, I mean, I think these bigger events, and this was a trail event. It's not it's not a national championship. It's not an FLW event, but these larger 2-day events, I would love to see a live marshal or a cameraman or however you want to do it. Yeah. But have another person there to verify those fish on the spot.
Now, Ryan, are you still tournament director for different events?
So I do Tennessee Valley Kayak Anglers. We've got a kayak club based out of Chattanooga. We fish primarily Chickamauga and Guntersville, but we do 3 fish tournaments, live weigh-ins. Myself and 2 other directors will judge the fish. That way, if there is a question by any of the 3 or discrepancy, we have plenty of people there to verify.
Yeah, see, I didn't have that, and I can't speak for you, but I'm going to tell everybody listening, don't ever be a tournament director. All right. I had to disqualify 2 of the 5 people in this room. It wrecks friendships. Friends try to take advantage of your authority.
Dude, you're the worst person to give authority to. You're freaking Eric Cartman, bro.
Eric Cartman.
You're the most Eric Cartman of the 6 people in this room by 10.
I'm just saying, guys, don't be a tournament director. Just be the guy that shows up and goes home.
It's not a fun
That's
job.
right.
It's not a fun job.
No doubt about that. No doubt.
It's not a fun job. Let me remind everybody watching right now, we're talking to Ryan Lambert. If you've got a question for Ryan, you got a question about anything that you hear right now, a comment.
Founders Beer just
hit us up. Yeah, Founders Beer, cracking in the back. Hit us up. Let us know what you think.
Wait, so is this... So you didn't win? I'm missing something. So they took the title away, or they still haven't made a decision?
No, so I won the pro. So there was a pro series and an open series. I won the pro series no matter what they decide about that fish. In the open series, I was actually tied with one of my good friends, Jody Campbell. We had a tie for first, and he had big fish. So he was first place. I was second place. Ron Champion was third place, and Gene Jensen was fourth place. And I mean, Ron, he's like, he was here last week, and he's like, in my opinion, the tournament's over. The fish are judged. It's done. I'm third place. Period. Amen. Every post he's made since then has acknowledged that, and I really do appreciate that. Ron he's a stand-up guy, and probably one of the best that we've got in our sport.
Don't tell Dave that.
Why? Well, why would you tell me that?
I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, so how does that work? If they give you your check, do you have to give your check back then? 6 hours later, here's your money back. What if you already went to the bank?
Well, yeah. What if you already spent it at the
go to casino?
Yeah,
Club Risque.
You went and got a steak dinner.
So
Brian's ghost went to Club Risque.
Brian had money. Brian's ghost would have been making it rain before they even caught him.
It's a big plastic check, so you can't cash it until the money goes into PayPal account a couple weeks later.
Brian's ghost would have tried to write one submitted on a bar napkin. It wouldn't even been a fish. It would have been a fish drawn on a bar napkin.
And what gave it away is at the bottom it said, "Call me."
Yeah.
Cell phone number.
Yeah. Topaz. Their number.
And all you hear is some chick in the back breathing real heavy,
All right. I'm sorry, Ryan. I am so sorry.
I'm very offended by all of this.
Is this why Pete left?
It is.
Yeah, it's probably why Pete left. Ryan, let me get your take on this real quick. A lot of rumors swirling around. Obviously, big deal for FLW to embrace kayak fishing, but a lot of rumors swirling around the last couple of weeks that MLF has purchased FLW. How does that? Yes,
what?
That's true. That's true.
What
a lot of rumors.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. How does that filter fix into all this that we're talking about?
I don't know. So I may have been privy to those rumors. I'm not sure how it's going to shake out, man. I'm really not. I'm not sure how that's going to trickle down to the partnerships. I don't know at what level that was made.
Yeah.
I would like to see, honestly, I'd like to see MLF get involved in some respect to the kayak fishing myself. Just like we were talking about earlier when you had Cobb on, I mean, I think competition just makes things get better. So, seeing some more guys step up to the plate, I think is a good thing. I'm not opposed to that at all.
Would you be offended if Major League Fishing did acquire FLW and took over the kayak circuit, but they made all the kayakers run the new Ducket Series kayak and no other brands?
And they were white.
I knew you were going to say something crazy.
Hey, you know what, though? Listen. So the kayak tournaments, I figured this out.
Yeah.
I've solved all the problems.
Uh-oh.
So all the kayak tournaments, they get a marshal.
Yeah.
So we take all the retired jockeys, like the little
guys,
and you stick them in the back.
Yeah.
You know how Vegas put Stelly back in the age crate? You just put the little marshal dude right in the back.
Well, you give them the pedals, like a little hamster wheel, and have them row.
Yeah, have them paddle.
Do you think he can hold my rods over his shoulders?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, I mean, you got to make that work.
Well, I know the dude from
awesome.
Maximum Security is definitely looking for a job. So
Could be your caddy
True.
too, like.
True.
Feeding you shaky worm or whatever.
Yeah. He just can't have a sense of humor. Like, he can't say or do anything. He just weighs the fish. He hands you things.
Right.
Like,
As long as Chris Jones has a job, I don't want to see him leave the sport.
give me a Chris Jones. Anybody have a good
Dave.
Chris Jones?
Dave, you got to have one.
I don't really have one, but I feel like if anyone ever needed an exorcism on tour,
Yeah.
he'd be crazy enough and probably capable of pulling that shit off. You know what I mean, dude?
Wow!
Oh my God.
Yeah, think about that, dude.
I'm waiting for
Possessed.
He's fire and brimstone, man.
it. All right.
He ain't
Bring
no
it,
joke.
bring it out of him. Ryan, also, I want you to little note here. You got a little lifestyle brand going on. You want to talk about a little bit about that, where people can get a hold of some of that stuff? Shirts, hats.
Yeah. So we have, me and my buddy Shane. We run a little. It's like a kayak fishing apparel company, Yak Addicts. Yak Addicts Online. It's been around for about 5 years now.
Yeah, I've seen that.
We do some shirts and hats and whatnot. I mean, it's nothing major, but we put it out there. We set up a booth at the national championship, try to get some guys some gear.
Very cool.
I like it. So, Ryan, you're free on August 10th, right? You'll be joining our Ike Foundation Celebrity Pro-Am Kayak
come with
Division.
Ron. Come down. Come up and have a good time.
I don't know if Ron will let me this year. I've had way too much luck this year. Ron might make me stay at home, but
Well, you can stay with Brian, and we'll put Ron with Dave.
I'll put you on the juice.
Yeah, Brian's got some hidey holes he can show you.
in that case, I'm in.
Ron got the royal treatment last year. I took him for a cheesesteak. I took him past the Eagles Stadium. He stayed in a college house and didn't get any sleep because the kids were humping upstairs.
Yes.
Ask him about it.
Is that room still available?
Yes, it is.
The hump room.
It's really
You
disturbing.
need the hump room.
Apparently, it's good luck, though.
It is.
Good luck.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
great luck.
Ryan, I want to thank you for joining us on the show. I'm excited. Will you come back on the show and keep us
man.
abreast of how everything's going
Sure.
on the circuit?
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Yep, I definitely will.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate it and wish you all the luck in the world and love your insight into kayak fishing. It was very interesting.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Ryan Lambert, everybody.
Ryan Lambert.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm excited. I think I don't think it has found itself yet because it's so new. Kayak tournament fishing is relatively new, but I really do think it's a key piece to growing fishing. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a key piece.
I think bass boat companies did a great job growing kayaks because their price of boats
They've priced
are like
themselves
4
out.
times the amount of whatever raises you were getting over the course
Absolutely.
of the years, man. Like,
They're still pricing themselves out. They're going up. You got that new company Vexus, their new glass boat that they're introducing. They have a $100,000 boat that they're launching. Is that not insane? $100,000 bass boat that they're coming out with.
and that first guy who's in a tournament with it, you're going to look at him like the way we used to look at the oil or the railroad tycoons on TV. Like the Chinese would be out there suffering, building the tracks, and they'd have their
Here we go.
their triple, the tri-length tuxedo with the top hat, watching the guys build the track.
Yeah, tailcoats.
Yeah, exactly. That's what that guy's going to look like to you. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like smoking a cigar, all smug before launch.
Could be.
You know.
I love it, Dave.
Now I learned something from this guy. If you ever catch the same fish, right? You know, like punch him in the face or something. You can't put him on there looking the same, dude.
Beat him up.
Take a picture.
Take a Gerber knife to him.
That's
Scrape
what
off some
Dave.
scales.
That's what Dave took from it.
You
The
gotta take a
rest
picture
of
of his
us
other side.
Yeah.
pretty much figured we should put the fish back.
Yeah. No,
Dave.
I get it now. I get it now. Like they're safeguarding over the dude keeping the fish under the boat, or I totally get it. But
put your sunglasses on him.
A goatee.
no, you really want to make it look different, dude. Whip out your dong and put it right near his anal fin.
No.
Just have like a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
We gotta move on.
Wawa Hoagie Lady said that the best way to decipher these fish is through a cavity search.
Full cavity search.
Yep.
See what they're eating.
Yeah.
Zebra masal.
It went downhill. Bring it back.
Went downhill.
I gotta get up super early.
Yeah, Brian, let's call the show. I think did we give away everything? We're gonna do the prize pack for the bag for the Facebook thing later, right?
Yeah,
We're gonna post that later.
That, yep.
We got the winner came through for the amazing battery system.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, we did.
Dakota Lithium.
Can we make a deal with Chris from New York? Next show, we'll just tell him automatically we're going to send you something. Don't compete. Don't compete. Let somebody else try to win.
A non-compete clause for Chris from New
We'll
York.
just constantly send
Chris,
him like one of these.
Chris, we've sent you enough stuff. You have to sign up for some Prime Alert.
I think what we're gonna do
buy
is
something.
Yeah, stop
buy
mooching.
something, Chris.
Stop mooching.
Chris isn't going to receive his prizes for 6 months, like every 6 months. So we just save on the shipping costs. We just send 6 at a time.
Yeah.
No.
6 at a time.
Chris is our biggest fan because everybody on the message board that says, "Oh, they never send your prizes," Chris jumped in and said, "I got my last prize in 3 days."
Ooh.
Well, tell Chris to send us a picture of his primal urge that he's eating.
So the other,
And his mystery tackle box.
Mike,
and
the
washing with some Dr.
And
Squatch
washing
soap.
it down with some beer.
That's right.
the other contest was the best I am.
Yeah, best I am.
Best I am that came through on the board.
Yeah.
And that's going to be Grant in St. Louis.
Grant in St. Louis.
And
the comment was
the Magnum Condoms Kayak Fishing Team. Small Boat Big Package 2019. Brought to you by MLF.
Grant, there you have it.
Big package.
That amazing comment wins you the second Ike Live gift pack right there of the night. Loaded with
Nice.
Ike Live sponsors. Grant, great comment.
Yeah.
Becky, it's been an awesome show. I want to thank our guests tonight that came on. Of course, Brandon Cobb, 2-time elite winner, joined us via Skype. Amazing. I want to thank Ryan, who just joined us, getting some great insight, I think, into kayak fishing. Did you get some insight from Ryan? I thought it was good.
I did. Can I do my own personal shout out here?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
I don't know if you guys got to this,
Can you give yourself a shout out?
Okay.
but Team Pro Edge has some strong anglers, as we all know. I mean, we've got Mike, we've got John Cruz, and Ish Monroe, Cliff Crochet. But
Yeah.
Garrett Paquette joined our team this year,
Yep.
and he had that second place
Place and a 100-pound belt.
rookie,
Rookie.
and he got his
Yeah.
century belt.
Garrett,
so
Garrett,
Yes,
good
sir.
that
job.
shout out to
go,
an
Garrett.
awesome
Shout out to
team
Garrett.
member of Pro
Yeah.
Edges.
Go Pro Edge.
Yeah. Also want to, of course, we've got to thank our man
Charles.
in the studio tonight
Yes.
for joining us on the casting couch.
Yeah.
Jeff,
Thank you,
thank you
Jeff.
for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for putting
Yeah.
up with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, it was
was
fun.
fun.
I honestly learned a lot, and the experience today on the water with the Torpedo was really, 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 really amazing. Really cool. It's a great experience for me.
It was good getting out earlier with Eric and getting some footage. So I think we'll
Yeah.
have some of that to show later, right?
Yeah, and if we and Brian and the good news is Brian's going to have this boat build done by 2021, so that should be pretty awesome.
Like, how well does the taquito deal with dust? Like,
It's waterproof, so
all right, impervious to cobwebs, and
right.
mouse nests and stuff. Just think how it's gonna do in his garage.
This is contradictory to productivity right now.
Yes. Also want to thank Miss Rebecca, Dave Brodzik, Brian the Carpenter, Pete Glusick, The Riz, Eric the Intern
That's right.
for joining us tonight. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening. Real quick reminder before we go, if you've missed old Ike Live episodes, you can get them anytime at IkeLive.com, iTunes, Stitcher, and the best of on Bassmaster.com. Oh, no, they got rid of that.
And if there's any women out there that might want to join the Ike Live crew, just so I could have another woman.
Yes! We need
Please
another
send your
woman.
resumes.
Send your resumes in. Hope everybody had a great night and have a great weekend coming up. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good night!